Wendell, again, thank you for your time, and we'll open it up. We'll go to Steve Wiseman. Steve, go ahead.
Thanks, Mike. Hey, Wendell, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Listen, I know you guys had the skirmish last Friday, and there's no fans for that. There's not going to be any fans for the first few games, at least, until we see how things go. But can you just address that, what that's going to be like for you guys, how it is to try to get up for a game and the crowd you used to have in there at Cameron, which is unlike many venues in the country, won't be there.
Yeah, obviously not having the crazies is a huge thing for us. It just gives that.
Can't hear him.
But at the same time, we always have to come ready to play. I mean, we're given the gifts that we're allowed to play basketball every day. And, we just can't take it for granted. So we have to come out and play every game like it's can't be our last.
Mark's next. Brendan, go ahead.
Hey, Wendell, thanks so much for taking the time. You were just talking about some of the improvements in your game. Can you just follow up on that and expound on that? What were the biggest areas that you wanted to improve this summer, and how did you go about actually trying to make those changes?
I think the biggest thing for me wasn't so much anything physically, but it was more mentally. So coming in with the confidence that I need to be able to play, just letting the game slow down in my mind, and just trying to be more in the moment instead of focusing on things I can't control.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Jim Sumner, who didn't get his question. And Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Wendell, I think you kind of answered it, but I want to ask you too about, you've been described as one of the team's leaders. I want to, you're a sophomore, relatively young member of the sophomore class, but you've got about as many minutes in Duke uniform as anybody on the team. So I want to ask you how you're developing as a leader, what your leadership style is. Are you vocal, or are you leading by example? Just talk about that a little bit.
I'd probably say normally I would have led more by example, but now since our team is so young, including myself, we have 7 new faces. It's kind of forced me to become more of a vocal leader. Since I've been around for 2 years, I kind of know what kind of things are going on. So just anytime I get a chance to help the younger guys, and Pat being an older guy, but he's still young to the program. Anytime I get a chance to help them be better, I'm just kind of doing anything I can to make their transition smooth.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go to Jason Evans next. Jason, go ahead.
Hey, Wendell, I want to ask you about the other returnees, the guys who've been in the program for a couple of years. Can you give us a quick assessment of what's changed about their game from last year to this year? You know, you, Joey, Matt, Jordan Goldwire. I'm just interested in knowing how guys have progressed over the course of the offseason.
I think all of us have progressed tremendously. And I think the biggest area that we all improved on is we all became better leaders. And game-wise, I can say for Jordan, he's also a lot more confident. He's shooting the 3 a lot better. He's getting in the lane a lot. He's just making everybody else around him better. He's the ultimate competitor, and he's ultimately one of the best guys to play with, because all he wants to do is win. I can say the same thing for Joey and Matt. Joey, he's obviously one of the best shooters we have on the team, but now he has the opportunity more to put it on the bounce, make plays for others, and he's doing a great job at that. And Matt Hurd, I'm sure you guys have all heard, he's put on 20, 30 pounds of weight when he's back home, and I think it's helped him a lot. He's a lot more stronger. He's able to defend bigger guys a lot better, which gives us opportunity to put him at the 5 and give us more mismatches. And we can take advantage of that on the offensive end, because he's obviously one of the best offensive players we have. And again, for me, I can say the biggest thing for me is my confidence. I'm coming in a lot more confident in my game, and just put all my skills to the test back home that I worked on.
And if I can follow up real quick, so let's turn to the newcomers really quick. Who's impressed you the most? Who's the guy that is sort of doing jaw-dropping stuff in practice so far?
I'll probably say the guys that impress me most are. I'll probably say the biggest one for me is Henry, because I've never seen Henry play. The other 5 I've gotten a chance to see, like on the EYBL circuit. Jeremy, I played a USA basketball with, so I was kind of familiar with him. Jalen, same thing. But I didn't know Henry was as strong and as powerful as he is. I mean, you can kind of almost compare him to Zion. Obviously, he's not Zion, but he's almost just as powerful, and he's right there with it.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll go to Jake Piazza next. Jake, go ahead.
Hi, Wendell. Hope everything's going well on this Tuesday afternoon. I'm curious with the schedule coming out this morning, is there that collective kind of sigh of relief amongst the team? Like, all right, it's set in stone. Like, let's play some basketball.
I would always say, yeah, because we know who we're going to play, when we're going to play them, where it's going to be. But I think for us, we were always ready. We're just ready for that first game to come around. Like I say, definitely for this year's team, we're really hungry. All the guys coming every day ready to work. And we're just ready to play some basketball.
Thank you.
I will go to Brian Horace. Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Wendell. Thanks again for joining us this morning. Wanted to ask, obviously, you guys are getting close to game time now, and you've probably had, obviously a good look at the team. You're in there every day. What would you say the strengths of the team are right now?
I would say the strength of our team is our quickness. Coach mentions us all the time that we're not going to be the biggest team on the floor. There's probably going to be one or two guys on their team that are always bigger than us. So we have to use our quickness to our advantage, whether it's in transition, whether it's on the defensive end. And we just have to pick out mismatches. Because like I said, we have Matt Hurd at the 5. There's a chance he's going to have a 6'11" center on him. And if he's able to stretch him out to the 3-point line, I think we can pick apart our mismatches very easily.
Thank you.
All right, Steve Wiseman, go ahead.
Yeah, Wendell, you mentioned you played with Jeremy Roach in USA Basketball, and I know you played with a great point guard last year, Trey Jones. But can you just talk about what it's like to play with Jeremy? What kind of point guard he is? How does he make it easier for you guys on offense? I guess a little bit compared to Trey, but not so much.
Right. I can say the thing that both Trey and Jeremy have is that ultimate competitive spirit. They make everybody else around them better because all they want to do is win. No matter how many points they score, how many assists they get, their main goal is winning. And playing with a point guard like that not only makes me better as a person and our team better, but it ultimately can make them better.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go to JB Ricks. JB, go ahead.
Hey, Wendell, thanks for taking out the time, man. If you could re-answer Steve's first question, with everything, the protocols coming out today that you guys will officially not have fans, can you readdress that, please, and let us know how you guys are preparing for that and what your mentality is, knowing you'll be playing this season without fans? Yeah,
not having fans is a huge, obviously, for a program like us, with the Cameron Crazy be so historically involved in our program. It gives us the ultimate home court advantage, but not having them there hurt us. But we've been preparing in the atmosphere that we're going to play in. So in Cameron, we have everything set up with the crowd noises. We tried that out at our scrimmage on Friday, and the atmosphere is great. The atmosphere that everybody put together. It is obviously the safest atmosphere for us, and it's the best atmosphere for us that we can play in right now.
Yeah, and that was going to be the second part of my question in regards to how different has it been preparing for this season, knowing you have to deal with that type of atmosphere or whatever, and the coronavirus protocols and all that. How different has it been training for this season compared to past?
Obviously, the training is a lot different too. You go home in the summer, trying to play a lot of pickup with guys. Just trying to work on things that you work on in your individual workouts. So I can say for me, it wasn't as much pickup as I would have liked. But when I was able to get around to some safe pickup, I obviously played in that. But just gave me a chance to work on more of my individual stuff, and gave me a chance to focus a lot on the mental side of my game more than just the physical aspect of it.
All right, thanks, buddy. Good seeing you.
All right, we'll go to David Thompson. David, go ahead.
Hey, Wendell, thanks for your time, man. You mentioned that Henry Coleman was a young guy who really impressed you. Can you talk about kind of, his leadership abilities and just, I know he's a vocal dude. What's he like, in the locker room?
Yeah. I'd probably say Henry's one of the most outgoing people I've ever met, and I say that in a really the best way possible. Like he brings the most energy. Like just anytime he comes in the room, like you can tell he's there, and the energy he brings to us on the court is really second to none.
I know he also put together, I think it was a fishing trip for some of the guys. Were you a part of that?
No, unfortunately, I didn't take part in the fishing trip with him, but I did tell him I would join him one of these days out on the lake.
Cool.
All right, we have 4 questions in queue, so we'll get to those 4 and then wrap it up with Wendell. We'll start first with Matt. Matt, go ahead.
Thanks. Wendell, I know that you've been active in the Black Lives Matter movement. I saw that the team's jerseys are going to have equality on them this year, and I just wondered if you could speak further about that in general, and just how the program has been very active in that.
I think for our program, I think we've been one of the most active programs regarding the Black Lives Matter in the country, because Nolan Smith is a prominent figure in not only the Duke community but the Durham community. So he's played a huge part in that. And I'm also Coach. Coach speaks out a lot for what he believes in, and I feel like it gives us the confidence that he really believes in us. And so we all have his back, and we know that he has our back.
All right, Vashti Hurt. Vashti, go ahead.
Hi, Wendell. I hope you're doing okay. You talked about gaining your confidence during the off season and how the game has slowed down somewhat. I'm curious what specific changes we'll see in your game as far as improvements. I think in looking at some of the stuff from the scrimmage, you were very aggressive going to the basket, again, getting to the free throw line, just things like that. What specific game improvements can we expect from you this season?
I would say the most specific is just me slowing the game down for myself. I think I've been watching a lot of coaches with a lot of film coaches, and we break down every second by second. So a couple of days ago, I was watching film a coach with over the scrimmage, and if I just would have slid up in one spot, I would have had an open 3, or I would have slid the other way, I would have had an open 3 or a layup. So just picking out a little spots like that helps me pick my spots better in the game. And just allows me to be in the right places. That way I can be more aggressive, making plays for myself and my teammates.
All right, Tom Shanahan, go ahead.
Hey, Wendell, this is an era when a lot of guys want to turn pro as soon as possible, whether that's the NBA, G League, or overseas. What's the best thing about being back in college for your sophomore year?
I'll probably say just the experience. The college experience is definitely second to none for me. And unfortunately, the incoming freshmen in all the schools won't get to experience the full college experience, but just the college season. It's a great thing to be a part of, just being a part of a team that all cares about each other, and ultimately has the ultimate goal of winning.
Thank you.
And Ben Swain, last question.
Yeah, along those same lines, NBA drafts in 8 days. Do you think it's more difficult for the returning stars like yourself to see their friends get drafted, or is it more difficult for guys who entered the draft to see you starting up college basketball again?
I would definitely say it's more difficult for them to see college basketball starting up, because I know how much fun they had because of how much fun I've had. And the 3 guys for us, I wish them nothing but the best. I talk to them every day. Matter of fact, I actually talked to Cassius last night. I make sure everything's going good with him. And so I hope nothing but the best for our guys. I really hope they go 1, 2, 3 in the draft if that's possible. But yeah, I know that they definitely miss us as much as we miss them. So.
Thank you.
All right, Wendell, really appreciate your time this morning. Thanks again. Good luck this season. And as always, we'll send out quotes and video to those that need it later today. So Wendell, again, thanks, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.